Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ongoing Zinc Bar Sunday night reading series. Aurora would like to say a brief word. Oh. Hi, Aurora. We have a terrible, terrible night in store for us. No, wait, no, the opposite. I'm sorry. That was last week. We will never speak again of the horror. This week is going to more than make up for the last 20 years or so. Not as long as Segway, but we're slowly working our way up. This is going to be an extraordinary night. We have Charles Bernstein reading after the break, and before that, Annalise is going to introduce our first reader.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
We do in fact have a really wonderful night in store. First I'd like to thank Zinc Bar for letting us come in again. You guys are really high tolerance level, so thank you. Thanks everyone who came out tonight. I'm very excited about the readers we have. And also thank you to the New York State Council on the Arts for their support. And I'll be introducing our first reader, Annie Paradis. Yeah, that's right. She's famous. She's been called the Queen of Brooklyn. Also the Frank O'Hara of surfing. Oh yeah. She studies poetry and political theater at Pratt Institute. She hosts poetry readings in her Brooklyn home. She's well versed in the works of both Jack Kerouac and Jack Nicholson. And she brews kombucha, which may or not be illegal, but I mean that's cool. Rebel was a criminal too. That's fine. I'm on to you, Parody. And let's see. Oh, and she's also the author of 2 chapbooks, Dope Antlers and I Have a Great Now, limited edition. Guys, ask her later. In August 2012, she began her latest poetic project, which is called The Free Poems. She posted an advertisement on YouTube and social networking sites calling for friends and strangers to give her 3 words, out of which she would write a poem and record a video of the performance. And all 100 slots were quickly filled, and she currently writes and posts 1 poem per day on her YouTube channel. The username is Sparkle Cave. Yeah. As of today, she has written 68 poems for as many people. Did anyone here get a poem?
Yeah!
Yeah! Alright. Is anyone anticipating a poem? Alright. Yeah, so you guys know that these poems are kind of like making a bunch of friends at a party you just kind of stumbled upon. Or they're like Black Flag playing Black Sabbath covers all night. And it's also like walking into the woods and encountering a child who hands you a pomegranate that turns into your favorite comedy from the 2000s, except this time it's radically politically aligned, and you're also the star. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Annie Paradis.
Yeah. Traffic jam.
Paddle out, man.
Hi. Thank you, Annalisa. And thank you, Brendan. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, my Pratt friends and my real friends. And and I'm really excited. It's really an honor to be reading before Charles tonight. Okay. It's my professional folder. So yeah, I'm actually going to read a few, or like 9, I think, of the free poems, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a longer one after. Okay. It's poems for Therese. Things that give me severe panic attacks. Cake, black roses, heat, that guy, peanut butter, books, feeling like my nails are growing faster. Also today I realized that the quilt on my bed is getting thinner. Even unalive things can die. So I'm gonna get real while everyone's watching. Panic went away from the shore. Panic not of the storm, but of what makes up the storm. They taste like spoon, mulch, sour sugar. After the first time I recognized myself in a mirror, a bombardment of silently white mornings, hot glass, things made of hair, and a hand on the lower back. I can avoid most of these attacks if I just think of October on my Sierra Club 2012 wilderness calendar. That is the life. All Vermont and shit, orange trees I've never even seen before. It's funny when you'd rather be somewhere you've never actually been instead of where you actually are. I mean, what if you ended up hating it and it was wet and no one there wanted to talk to you and you had the wrong currency and things kept getting stuck in your eye? I want to be where I am. Belly down. Let me lay here. Someone comes in my room. What is she doing? That's just Annie. She lays on top of that calendar to feel better about herself. Yeah, so I panic my friends, my sister, my parents' new dog. I panic the tree sometimes just by being there. I gotta be like, whoa, Annie, pull those horns in. Please, just let me lay here until dawn, or at least until someone texts me. Okay. The phone's for Ryan. No, not you, sorry, different Ryan. So I made the executive decision to stop calling myself crazy. It's unproductive, and instead channel my energy toward more positive things, such as this gargantuan desire to be here now. Like, really here. Like a dead roach in one of my running shoes, and I'm not freaking out kind of here. I want to be foam, the ocean kind. I want to be a teal blue foam and love the sunrise, the shark, and the tourists. I wonder if Tom Cruise would like to be the foam. I think he would prefer to be the wave or Kelly Slater or better than Kelly Slater. I don't want to be better than Kelly Slater. Everybody has their place and their time, like a tourniquet. Oh my god, I just Google image tourniquet. I just Google image tourniquet, and now I have 13 feelings about it. A rising red sun, going to the mall, wearing a helmet inside of a mall, watering holes, house party, fireworks with a loved one, whoa, religion, fancy, on the road, horror, friends are a must-have. This poem is for Kenneth. Not dead, but definitely dying. This is how we are in the wild. But inside my head, inside my apartment, I'm building that day castle. I get too comfortable. I panic. The castle is made of styrofoam, the future, a ditch covered in mold. Have I vocalized the abyss? Okay, clear water. Think of sequoias and just breathe. Think of a really beautiful place like a lake between two mountains. Calm, okay. Is there anyone there? No. Shit, it's beautiful, but I'm alone. I'm imagining it for me as a sort of self-supportive exercise, but because I am doing this for me, there's no one else there. On top of feeling stressed out, I've now become lonely. I get a little scared. A colloquial ostracism so digital, so piercing, so Icelandic that I'm left on the carpet purring and scowling at the same time. I need a blanket on top of me. Mom. Chocolate. Want to love the sky with people around and in it. I lay on the couch and visualize my future self while looking at my present legs, and I think about them with no tattoos. Okay, for fine, pretty wedding photos, etc. I visualized last night, and everyone I was with had that extra silver silk, like pearls. They were warm. They were burning like Alaskan ants. I was sorry to go, wasted for the day. I'm going to stop and just dream about that for a minute. This poem's for Alyssa. After Sandy, there was a glorious rainbow somewhere, because there always is. And I'm assuming it asked for a hand job, because they always do. I like how with the word hand job, when you really look at the linguistics here, hand job debate, a hand job like no other, hand job Mondays, and the new hand job by Apple. It's great. Like it's the job of the hand. Like there could be no other. This just makes me want to start calling the shower indoor rain. The window, clear door. The oven, hot closet. The fridge, cold closet. The freezer, food hotel. Right now, Maddie is in the kitchen near the mini food hotel, trying to pick out a new desktop background for this season. Many of these choices include a well-placed pumpkin or trees galore, except she can't choose one. She says, these images are too beautiful to be my desktop background. Yeah, there is too much beauty in this world for it to just be in the background. And this one's for Allie. I am a crop circle of life. I am a baby lamb, just standing there. I am woven corn silk and dying. Fucking love corn silk. I say I'm in a mood. I want to be magical, like in the most necessary Midwestern farm at dusk, peeling corn silk off the fat cobs. But really, I'm drunk and making friendship bracelets for the infinite great hearts of this world in my tub. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's corn silk. I fucking love dusk. Taking meds and drinking tea, life is good. But then someone says, yeah, okay, missiles. Here, the legend of being a human being with dreams and an empty stomach. I open the legend of the life coach. Please, just tell me about the mud. And do pretty girls automatically recognize other pretty girls? A really pretty girl is a silver spoon. I could be a pretty girl in a womb of corn silk, but I can't grow here. I can't grow inside of my own corn silk. This poem's for Bobby. I am a rabid, newborn, new age anteater at dusk, so curious and universal. For example, Bobby, did you invent the big party? Or did the big party exist before you? I always want to go to there, but there's also here, because the big party is a state of mind, which makes it totally accessible. It is also a state, Virginia, 703. But why do I even care about the big party? The big expectation, the big coming to terms with your own duality and perhaps mortality, the big nap. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night with this one line just repeating in my head. I was like, Annie, you are finally dreaming pure poetry. Look at you with one line, little Hemingway. You don't even need to actually write ever again. Your brain is just going to be like, relax, I got this. So I texted it to myself in my sleep, and this was the line. This little sound is like a hug. I woke up and I was like, fuck, I mean, that's adorable. That's the cutest thing I've ever written. But I mean, is it a poem? Is it universal? It's not even glowing. Hold on, what would Bobby say? Probably something like, yo, you wrote the big poem. And I'd be like, word. Well, I am trying hard to work things out and let go of all my rituals regarding the big hourglass in my big fucking heart, in the big mind that's in the big snow. But yes, there will always be the big sun, and by extension, the big Sunday vegan brunch. You are a person. Okay, this one's for Kylie. Effervescent baby, tree holes, scapegoats. What doesn't sparkle? I'm a captain. I'm drinking pumpkin rooibos tea from Trader Joe's. What's better than that? How about pumpkin butter from Trader Joe's and being in the fucking moment? I've been on penicillin for the past 4 days, and things are really getting done. I'm feeling confessional. For example, I am at the mercy of a need for limitless loss. What's better than that? Life is spooky, cute. What's better than lying on my bed in autumn singing Leaky Lee's cover of Fleetwood Mac's Silver Spring like I fucking deserve it? What's better than right now? A baby wearing glasses is one of the top 5 cutest things ever. Kylie, you are not only the spring, but the spring before it has arrived. The memory of spring, the photos of spring. See how you transcend space and time? Friendship is an effervescent lake in Iceland with surround sound below, with Kanye below. Oh, lake, I want to be in you. Mountains on all sides. I feel so fecund and realistic. Seriously, tunes for miles. This is the year I said death a lot. Death of stupid shit. Because up until 2012, there was fire and love and God and legs, and I think I just want it all to blow up. Sometimes we all think we should leave the country. Horseshoe crabs mating for 5 miles is one of the most horrific things in the world. Sublime how at this point you are in your life. Go ahead and tell people you are my muse. I will tell you how when I saw Annie the musical on Broadway with my parents this weekend, I cried the entire time because those little girls were so talented. And when Sandy came on stage, I wasn't even a human anymore. Okay, this one's for John. The pamplemousse is a solitary creature. He paints watercolor still lifes, watches Breaking Bad, and eats a croissant for every meal. Actually, all he ever does is think about croissants. Croissants with jam, croissants in the bath, even t-shirts with croissants making silly faces. Sometimes he types croissant into YouTube just to see what other people are doing and thinking about croissants. But most of all, what he loves to do is to say the word croissant in a funny voice inside his head. He could do this till the sun is no longer the sun, except there is no one inside of his log cabin they can share this with. He feels stuck. He wants a world in which one could transcend all pastries. My mind is the opposite of my mind when shit gets real. The Pomplamoose told the anti-fracking volunteers because they were the only ones that come this deep into the wood. It is as if people expect something completely different when they come looking for a Pomplamoose. He told the young adults, "Am I not good enough?" "Well," said Ron, who hadn't said a word this whole time, "we create our own idealized versions of ourselves based on what others think of us, and when they aren't met, we tend to feel as if we've let others down, when in reality, we are fine just the way we are." "Wait, so then is a tree ever a tree?" the Pomplamoose responded. "This is becoming a very dangerous poem." Ron turned and looked at me. This one's for Matthew. Gold, gold light, October, and the epiphany of a journey without sky that came after a really great piece of toast or her. Lambs on a cliff overlooking a cove. Watch me unearth the crown, the gold from the vegetation. A moment of silence, fucking overused and swollen. I get so used to my cove, my cave, making maps just to understand the arc, the days, and the gold. There is no silence ever in my cave. Any sound that enters has no place to rest. It just keeps moving and swirls like a vine that grows without light. I have no idea without light. I have no jurisdiction, no love, no moments without light. Into the spiral, 100 poems for the ether, for the gold. Either they want to watch me or they don't. But I know Beyonce is watching me. And if she hasn't, she should. Because I work it. I want to win everything. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm going to read this other longer poem. Thank you. Okay. This poem is called Swans Up. Yes, they end on the shore. My posture now holding and kind, but on what coast? Molars for you, milkshake for me. In a Greek grandparent's pool, tiles and bread. I found a boy. I once loved his boyfriend, attractive, shockingly so. Now you can say that there are few who've also had that. I want to be, above all things, out of the wood drake and deer bit with their lips. Stolen egos, jogging boy in green, be mine. Be withholding, so that I may learn for once in my life the lightness of bark. Too much to want, too stupid to plant. Do you count these things too? The sun is a bridge, and here I am, not a saint, but I could use you, Luxbridge. Winter was a learning experience, spring too hot, hold clean, it weighs more than a head. I'm sorry about summer, swans up, what you had to do. I should be caught staring in the morning. Sometimes I too think the snow plowed through me. Life flushed, if you could choose how long. Silk, just given away, my medium, you, I'd scream you from the side of it. Is mouth limb? What makes you an entire swing? Rope loosens my love, the sounds you are being more creature home. The car folded around her, I praised angel. So I want to think in circles today. Here I go all around, you and the park and meals. How about over here? I am divine, I know this now. I treat everyone as if I am salted, sculpted, green. Mid-mornings in a blow-up pool with a hot pocket, I don't object. I know I'm more of you than I'd like to admit. Please don't think I've strayed. Nothing should stop me now. The mist on the bridge, super. I'm 20 today. I want trees. The sparrow mouth in the middle of our cul-de-sac named him after the shakes. This is our dad, and he forgets birthdays. The bird dries. The street stops like lupus, like a night. I'm motherless again. The bug is missing a leg. What about a road trip? The baby in the park reaches a hand out to me, and I act like I don't see it. This is the reason, and that's the Costco. On lockdown, we begin to mold and mate. You're in this, you're in this. Looking down into the water, God feels. And a cousin comes into the bathroom. The meal is mine, like discharge, like soda. A cousin can surprise us at first, and we become shy by soda and bubble. Tall cousin, I am done with it. Took myself to the corner of the yard, sunflowers and fenceless hot. Crop circles at the sleepaway camp. Lost for me this gash. Circles, circles. There it burns. There me eating in front of a mirror. I won't leave, won't I, South? King, I miss you with me. Antennae, bustling, shell empty, talented and pregnant football players. Oh, find me a circle in you. Pink, before I forget my only life too. Spice and orange, a beard theory for all seasons. Reasons people I lose. City naps. Are you the fence? Horseback romance, hunchback chance. Animal, stop arguing about gluten. This moon is higher, and he's like my button. No one binds me here on Man Island. Loud and more loud in each museum. I think it might rain, long gone, so I close the window. Great toast. His rib is like a ship. Hairy, ship belly, tunnel from one bitch to another. Birch trap, cotton, turtle love. You, Colombian. Will I spend enough time? This carpet is ugly. You are not. I accept you, apocalypse, the piano. In my bed, the sad but true world of deep-fried Oreos. In my mind, often you. Everyone's different, but this season was made for me. Half shaved, I don't hate bacon. 2 Vin Diesels and a ginger ale to go. My dog in her last harness. Hominy desert dream. We'll wait for Nomad. Thank you.
I know. It's the future. Unfortunately, it's just video. There's no audio. So it's just too expensive. So 2 weeks, come on back. We're going to have a big party for Poems on Sunday, which is a fantastic night. Okay, I'm going to read this little intro, then we're going to get out of here. Sound good? All right. Charles Bernstein. Hi. Hi. Charles Bernstein is a real problem. A troublemaker who has resolved himself to be an irresolvable generator of luminosities, of happenings of truth setting themselves to work, and kernels of the real in the unpopped theoretical fields of aesthetics as a moral endeavor. But we all know that. There are dialectics within dialectics, though. Ghosts inside machines, inside even larger ghosts. The trouble with being a literary figure is its chronological confinement. Embedded in one's identity is the fixed moment when the world became conscious of you, or conscious of itself through your work. What's extraordinary about Charles's ongoing exploration is that he continues to use the insurrectionist will of perception itself as a practice and a means to accelerate our own journeys into the unknowable, right? I know. It's terrible. Aurora doesn't know what she's about to experience here. Neither do I, for that matter, or anybody else. So, to put it another way, and maybe a more straightforward way, I've written an acrostic based on the letters in Charles Bernstein's name in some of his recent work. It's a piece called Bernstein Without Bernstein. Aurora will now tear the drawing that she's just made as another way of... Yeah, that's good. That's nice. Wow, the reading sounds better this way. Commercial with no hand, a protest without a road, a loss of expectation, sin without being sure, ever taken rather than not ideas, but the second chance to be eaten alive. Exciting to be I love. No, never, I'll never stop. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Bernstein.
Got special deep discounts on these books. All the Whiskey in Heaven, my selected poems, for just $10. And this, if you don't understand this reading, in fact, I personally am waiting to understand my work. And you'll certainly want the Salt Companion, which will really make my work even more incomprehensible than it will otherwise seem to you in a half an hour. So if you want, if it seems too, if you think you understand it too well, which I think is my problem right now, read this, and it will return you to that early phase where you have no idea what I've been doing. Just $20.
Chimera. At dusk, I I found it silent there, and sudden caught it in my hand. It squeaked and hollered with despair, but I was young, of ruthless mind. I scooped and cupped it in my palm, so it would no more come to harm. Yet quick I knew to let it go. It was not mine to have nor hold. Ere since that day I've gathered twine to knot and glue unto a rhyme, resigned that tunes will never bind, shimmering shadows tossed in time. So yesterday we had in this very same Zinc Bar tribute to the Segway Foundation and James Sherry at 35. And the first roof book was Controlling Interests from 1980. But that's a long time ago. And I had a poem in that book, which is actually in All the Whiskey in Heaven, called Sentences My Father Used. Madeline was just talking about my father, born 111 years ago, or so, not far from here. And that was based on an oral interview with him, and kind of coming to terms with our very different perspectives on life. But, you know, that's a long time ago, and it's a long poem. So what I've done for you here, and this will be in Recalculating, my book coming out, is just to give you the last words of each line. So I think it makes it a little bit faster and easier. And besides, I really don't want to think about my father that much. So it was so long ago. So it's called Last Words, the last words of Sentences My Father Used. Fields, too, is the that at reflection, complete, slowly, intricate to that, too. Chairs, surprise, straps around disconsolation as eyeglasses, pulleys like a discoursing, more grass, rocks, or that blazing to street to which descends eye, arrests spirit, serenity with shunning, promising, can steady best by not inferior, who their embarking pages. Misapplication is powerless, useless. Silk, my well aggravated, got to but accumulating challenge found to very which I but put came our shop. The scraped had loony in sultry to the eroded, the imagination, you, the new, cures through that, make nice, pleasant, swinging, crystal, just remnants, gad, every day, lose, were to, didn't care, which journey past late transportation. There a thought, what had into advantage, opportunity due, no forces, interesting of recognition perfectly, all leading in of looks, never divorced it onto, never feel, breaks, evading, bent, then eroded over lights, possibilities, above that which too endless, leaving whatever for tumbling, discarded, laugh amid counter course. Lets you recover your mind and its circular, transparent rectitude. Yesterday, right here on this stage, James and I were, talking about the 1980, 1979 first book. We tried to raise some money for it. It was expensive to publish a book. And the one and only time we thought, well, let me go to my relatives and ask them if they might like to give $50 toward this book, and I had an uncle named Gad, and never imagined that. Who gave $50 or something like that. Was a very wealthy man. If he was a wealthy man, in exactly that sense. And gave this money. Got a note. Never heard from him in my whole life, but I got a note from him that he had seen the reference to the word Gad, which I just read. And it said, and the quote was from my father, Gad was on my back every day. The context in the oral interview with my father was that Gad had lent money to my father for a business, and that every day he called to say, when was the money going to be repaid? And by the way, I'm saying that to you too. I'm waiting for that money to be repaid behind my books. And he had noticed that line. I mean, there's no way that Gad Bernstein could have in any way comprehended anything about that book, but he saw his name, Gad, and he was upset with this line because he understood what it meant. Gad was on my back every day. So who says that poetry doesn't have agency? All the poems I'm going to read here, maybe except one, are after recalculating, and so therefore quite new. And this one is called High Tide at Race Point, and it's for Norman Fisher. A commercial with no pitch. A beach without sand. A lover without a love. A surface without an exterior. A touch without a hand. A protest without a cause. A well without a bottom. A sting without a bite. A scream without a mouth. A fist without a fight. A day without an hour. A park with no benches. A poem without a text. A singer with no voice. A computer without memory. A cabana without a beach. A bump with no road. A sorrow without a loss. A goal without a purpose. A noise without a sound. A story without plot. A sail without a boat. A plane without wings. A pen without ink. A murder without a victim. A sin without a sinner. An agreement without terms. A spice with no taste. A gesture without motion. A spectator without view. A slope without a curve. A craving without a desire. A volume without a dimension. A Nazi without a Jew. A comic without a joke. A promise without a hope. A comforter without the comfort. The certainty without being sure. Stealing with nothing stolen. The might have beens without the was. The Mishnah without Torah. The two without the one. The silken without the silk. The inevitable without necessity. Logic without interference. Suddenness without change. A canyon without depth. Fume without smell. Determination with no objective. Gel without cohesion. A cure without a disease. A disease without a trace. A mineral without a shape. A line without extension. Persistence without intention. Blank without emptiness. Border without division. A puppet without strings. Compliance without criteria. A disappointment without an expectation. Color without hue. An idea without content. Grief with no end. So I'm happy to say, well, that was on poets.org, Poem of the Day, in an interesting text flow version, which actually is quite beautiful in the way that it just puts one after the other. That Zen Monster and Brian Unger's magazine is going to publish that, partly in honor of the wonderful Norman Fisher. This is slightly different, I suppose. It's called Also Rises the Sun. Septicemia with half-cocked smile reposted your blog. Dead Doll Tantrums reblogged this from They Shoot Howling Prairie Dogs, Don't They? Barely Atheist shared your deletion. Focused on Shimmer blogged your reposting. Totally Without Awe favored your share. Slant Rhyme liked your comment. Opalescent Senescence unsubscribed. Defrocked Croc blocked your posts. Whimsy's Amnesia friended your status. Flagrant Fallacy copied your reposting. Pot-bellied Spoiler moved your share. Stubbed Toe skipped your comment. Jilted Door Frame marked your blog unread. Illuminated Tupperware repudiated your reposting. Jocose Insomniac commented on your unfriending. Asemantic Trajectory deleted your profile. Pandering for Obscuration joined the conversation. Tattooed Liposuction updated your status. Wages of Virtue is away until further notice. Ill-fated Lover left the conversation. Surveillance Tactics has hurt feelings. Bellowing Brain Thwarting occupied irreverence. Simpering Fool that I once was regained composure. Auditory Hiccup flagged your post. Radiant Moron usurped your flag. Bundled Breathlessness incapacitated your reposting. Ignoble, Incorrigible, Ignorant branded you on Climaximum. You Want to Paint My Pony poked you in Paderewski's Dream. Off My Meds added you to the demonic poet tasters group. Silo Vacant left screen for 10 minutes. Titular Amnesiac branded you in Cyclotromania. Elevated Cholesterol downloaded your C drive. Aliens inhabit my liver. Truncated your reposting. Miscreant allure denuded your status. Soporific destiny mirrored your link. Angel of eczema forwarded your mirror. Downward spiral logged on. Flimsy pantomime changed screen name. Too cool for cool screen names fell asleep. Bellicose baloney liked activity. Sharply curved regrets post. I just recently read that. I read that in Montreal at a wonderful reading I did there. But absolutely silent, quiet audiences kind of freaked me out. But wonderful place, Montreal. I'm glad to be at the Zinc Bar. So this is my very close and dear friend Henry Hills, filmmaker, asked me to write. I kid you not, as Jack Parr would say, this is a reference that I think will elude most of you. I kid you not. A scenario for a segment of a film on the letter H. He wanted me to write something for him to film based on the letter H, which, of course, as many of you know, is one of the most important letters. It's certainly in the top 26. So, I like all the letters, really. But
you don't have a
H,
favorite? Come on, you have a
well,
favorite.
H is important.
How about C?
But so I wrote this, and I wrote it for my friend Warren Sonberg, and because Warren did films that were a little bit like this scenario. So what we have is 50 scenes, and Henry wrote back and said, "How can I possibly film?" And he mentioned several of the examples that I've given. But the idea is that shot for shot, this is a screenplay. And this is why I'm here at the Zinc Bar, rather than many other venues in New York that I could otherwise be at if I didn't do things like this. A lesson for all of us here. H marks the spot. 1. Hermes arrives from remote location, looking haggard, carrying a hymnal and a hatchet. He can do that. 2. Helen of Troy gets into a fight with a hermaphrodite with a halo. I mean,
Mixed divinity.
just you have to get out of the NYU area, but as soon as you get beyond that, you're going to see that. 3. Heraclitus. I always say Heraclitus, but this is wrong. I am, after all, a professor. Heraclitus goes skinny dipping in Housatonic Rapids, which, of course, is something that Heraclitus does.
Never be
So
the
that's
same
just
again.
realism. 4. A high school honor guard, separated from troop, wanders into a harem. 5. Haunted hippies recreate scene from Beatles' Help. 6. HD in hallway with huge hook. 7. The heart is like the heart, the head is like the head, the whole is like the... 8. Homosexual hosiery hoisted. 9. Herodotus reads headlines. 10. Hip hopelessness. This is addressed in a brilliant article in the New York Times today that suggests that irony is a bad thing. Something I've read in the New York Times since I started to read in the early 60s. And I agree, irony is abhorrent. And we have to really stamp it out. I agree with the New York Times, and I'm also fascinated that on the front page we find that Philip Roth is writing about not writing. And I think that also is just remarkably interesting. Fascinating cultural coverage there. The irony, I think they're right. But, I mean, the Republicans did lose. Maybe they didn't. Hit 10. See, it's alliteration. But see the H. Hip. Hopelessness. Hip hopelessness. 11. A local hero marches down a hall filled with Hindu statues. 12. Hanoi is bombed. You could just keep doing 12 over and over because I sort of haven't gotten over that yet, but I guess we're in Gaza today. 13. Billie Holiday hums hexameters. So that's very good for the Zinc Bar, where evidently great jazz performers were on this stage before us. 14. And this I have to apologize for the under 110 group, which I think are mostly over there. So please, put your hands over your head. 14, an aid for preparation H. That becomes more meaningful, actually. I never would have understood that. What happens when you get older, you understand that reference better. And not much else. 15, hunger is stronger than happiness. 16, holy is the hoot of the hyena. 17, sick Heil, right into Führer's face. The Führer. Sick Heil. I'm still stuck in that Second World War thing. 18, Hamlet having a ham sandwich at Horn and Hardrock Automat. Again, Google images Horn and Hardrock for those who are not familiar with that. 19, Hitler in high heels. 20, how to hit a homer. 21, Hitchcock's hair. 22, heading home. 23, hush descends on hitherto hidden hills. Notice the reference to the filmmaker in that line. 24, host's hocked helmet. 25, we had our co-introducer with this one. Hi. 26, holograph of hat. 26, hooray for Hollywood. 28, Helsinki hack bound for Honolulu. 29, heaven, I'm in heaven. 30, Hölderlin hollering in tower. 31, hell is the eternal loss of one you love. 32, hold it, I think you're going to like this picture. Bob Cummings. And again, TV channel will help you with that one. 33, Heinrich Heine posing with Lorelei. 34, Homer in coffee shop having hamburger. 35, Hercules hotel doorman. 36, history unfolds in crawl on Times Square news ticker. 37, There's no horse like my horse. My horse is the best horse there is. Nothing ironic about that, by the way. That is just my deep felt feeling. 38, handle on the door of my house. 39, hiccups erupt. 40, humans break into prolonged hysterics. 41, hysteric is put in harness. 42, hallucination. None of this is real. Even the hallucination is an hallucination. 43, harpo plays harp. 44, harmonizing heterogeneity. 45, and this is actually the one that Henry cited in the email response, but I think he can do it. He's living in Vienna, and I think he's ready for it. 45, 100 heroin highs, 100 herons fly.
Seems easy. Nice.
46, Houdini escapes. 47, hypnotist puts me under a spell from which I never awake. 48, some hurts don't heal. 49, hospital corners on hospital bed. 50, heave ho, heave ho. My friend Jesus Bonvicino, a Sao Paulo poet, wrote a poem that I think is terrific, and it reminds me of something that James mentioned yesterday at the roof celebration. Well-known remark of his, good business advice, that a piece of blank paper is worth 1 cent, and you put a poem on it, it's worth nothing. So this negative value that we celebrated yesterday, once again, in terms of the Zinc Bar, not buying enough drinks. That's the problem with these reading series, is this audience is not buying enough drinks to make the proprietors happy. But we do the best we can. So this is a little bit like this. It's a poem of Hegis called Prose. A poem can't be sold like music can. Can't be sold like a painting, like a song can. Nobody gives a dime, a damn. A poem don't live beyond its words. Its dark and backward suns can't be sold like prose can. Only as if it were a story or the mocking echo of a poem. Can't be sold like junk can. Chunks of mango tree in garden or fragments of garden hose. Vats of burnt oil. Even like a goldfish can. Singing in a trash dump. The black tongue of the sewers where algae bloom. Can't be sold like graffiti can. Like a photograph or video can. Or any arty film. Can't be sold like a print or card can. Me, I'm a lousy trader in worthless things, beset by a plague of words. Amy Silman and I made an animated drawing, which you can find on Penn Sound, where she and I went back and forth with these images. But this is the poem that comes out of that collaboration. It's called Pinky's Rule. It always starts fast, then begins unwinding. A relatively straight shot right to the moon in freeze frame, as if you're almost at the point of being nearly ready. Abrupt shift, as in, I'll catch you next time. Wipe that stare off your flimsy inconsequence. Give me a rain dance, a walk around the projected parking structure, my indubitable loquacity, the ice machine next to the ice truck. Sunday morning chill. Mellow the way a lemon calls out your name in the dark, only it's saying Alice and your name is John. Or then it's saying Paolo, but you hear it as hollow. Instrumental, that is, only in the name I find when the shooting's over and the bed linen's on the line. It comes to this, or it came to that, or I should have listened harder, or I heard too much. Just don't bet the ranch on the chance your horse will come in second. There is no place like a blue pipe on a blunt background. That would be a pony of a different stripe. Heaven doesn't ask and won't tell. Here on the ground, you have to make lots of guesses, but even the most astute hunch don't change the course of all you've tried to push against. The fuel's not so much finite as tainted. Perception bows to the low person on the totem pole, or forms a filter against chance encounters, meteoric ineptitude, undeniable resemblance. You don't got to be Plato to see the shadows on the wall, going where you think you go, coming from wherever you thought you'd come from. I go in fear of fear, but on the flip side of the coin, early risers cut short the night. Illusion is always 9/10 collusion and half wistful thinking. Take another look. There is no more collateral damage to that thought than to the beach when the wave breaks over it. The picture can say only what the words tell it not to, as in the Pope is in the silo while the poetry boy redoubles his and her effortlessness. It's a running dope, or more kind to say, inept propositional. Where did you say you put the pliers? She's only this far from destiny, but they only sell one-way tickets. The warp of the weft is beset by fits, and then it comes to pass that the oblong is covered in shadow, as long as you both shall spill. Pinky's rule, this is what she told me. For every two there's a third, for every one a Z. The road knows, but not to tell, nor who might see. She bade me swear, and I went home without scarce a care. The road limned with light in feckless flight. Don't go there. In every threes, a pattern finds its form in bars of crimson melody. It hears, and what it hears, it sees in crimson bars of malady. Third becomes one as second Z's. I become three as one returns to me. The road gels where patterns tell, breaking into lines that spell. Don't speak but swell. Alphabets tinged with regrets. As one becomes Z, none hides the three. This much has she told me. We stand erect, but for a price I never know my left from right. I'll change it even so, if you will only let me know. I'm on my knees this time. Fortune's pissed right in my eye and tapped his hand on the other band, left me low and dry. That's a place right close to know, just on the other side. A circle around an A, with nary a time for a Z, as long as you both shall spill. As green glides only to your will, as sure as a frown's a frown, or an N, or an R, or a P. This is what she told me. For the price of an O, with the head of a frog, a sliced up Q with a dress made of pipes. Meet the man, almost made it. The girl, the man became. The woman in the boy, the fiddler in the storm. If Pinky's rule, you'd best remove your right foot from my left. Once we danced with ants in our uncles. before we rush to Ghent for truffles. Sissies rule. Aces are spare, sashes are violent, purses uncertain. Pursue your sudden passion, but never without 2 shakes of fashion, as X makes 3 or 7, when the shoot's shot. Quislings rule. What's on second? Who's the one that heard? You go up and then go tumbling down into the segment that was just the frown, that blanks you out in a blink of a sound. There's no point beating round the bent, no point beating trees into well-groomed hens, or a brush into a bee. The sparrow, she sings it differently, sings of orange and green and all the colors in between. White's blue reply, red's recalcitrant lover, aquamarine and tin torn covers. But colors are too bright, you know. You might as well paint shadows against snow, since sometimes shadow is all you can see. And that includes me. The picture can only tell what the words hide, and the words are hiding for their lives in a witness protection program on 3 Pony Drive. Paint flies when you're having steak with fries, a stake in what you care to recognize, cares the lost cause of our descent. The gulls that guide us with their shrieks. No more lament. No more lament. Lullabies hum the tunes we thought up at lunch, the pie in the heavens or the pickle on a paddy wagon. Even the littlest fingers know better than that. Pinkies rule. Winsome and lose some. Thick gray marks, as if of chalk. And I'll end with this new poem called Fare Thee Well. Give me a hammer. Give me a bell. Listen to the chime. Listen to its spell. Give me an axe. Give me a tree. Watch logs catch fire by degree. Bleed a thought till it tells secrets of elation hiding in a shell. Find your way. Make it swell. Give what you got, not what sells. Before you go, sing me a song. Time's almost over. Day's been long. No harder road ever will I see than the road you're on, far from me. Give me an axe. Give me a tree. Watch logs catch fire by degree. Bleed a thought till it spills secrets of regret hiding in a spell. Who knows if we'll meet again? Don't know where. Can't say when. Maybe never. Maybe in hell. Fare thee well. Fare thee well. Give me a hammer. Give me a bell. Listen to the chime. Listen to it dwell. Find your way. Make it sell. Give all you got till it swells. No harder road ever did I see than the road you're on, so far from me. Do me a favor. Sing me a song. Time's almost over. Day's been long. I don't know whether we'll meet again. Maybe we will. Somewhere in hell. I can't say how. And I don't know when. So fare thee well. Fare thee well.